Yeah, I'm gonna pin it as hard as I can. So we'll see how that goes. Sorry. All right, you guys. Forrest here with the FoCo Flow Show with a really exciting episode. It's not new bike day, but it is new frame and new shock day. The Ripmo is back with a new front triangle and the new Kitsuma Coil shock that they put on it from Cane Creek. So excited to pick the bike up. We'll do a quick bike shakedown, a quick bike check, show you what we did to it to get it back up and running. Again, huge shout out to Shakedown Bicycle Company and Cane Creek. So awesome stuff there. So without further ado, let's go pick up the bike and find that flow. So just in case, if this is your first time tuning into the Flow Show, make sure you go back and watch last week's video. We were at Berm Park and we were riding the awesome blue trail and black trails out there, and then my Cane Creek DB inline coil snapped in half. So here we are about a month later, and we have a brand new Cane Creek Kitsuma Coil on the bike, thanks to Shakedown Bicycle Company as well as Cane Creek for working all of that out as best as it possibly could have worked out. So yeah, check out that video. So as we get into it today, let's talk about the Ripmo V2. Had the bike for about a year and a half. It was an upgrade from the Ripmo V1, got it from Shakedown Bicycle Company. So a quick bike check. Obviously, we've got the Cane Creek Kitsuma Coil on there, 147 millimeters of rear travel. And what came on the bike on the fork was the 160 millimeter Onyx from DVO. Love the front fork, that has been awesome. Since I've owned the bike, I put Knox Farlow carbon wheels laced to i9 Hydra hubs. About the best upgrade I've done on a bike ever. Highly recommend it if you got $1,500 to throw around. In addition to that, we've got Vittoria Mazda tires, front and back now. That's a fairly recent upgrade as well. Stock SLX drivetrain, 12-speed of course, and SLX brakes. Those have been fine. I probably prefer the XT stuff, but it's not night and day different. Spank Vibracore bars for the handlebars, and my favorite Aragon G2 grips. And then Stylo carbon cranks. I went down to 170 millimeters from 175. That's been really nice to minimize pedal strikes. And of course, we've got my favorite wolf tooth component, oval front chainring. And then for the dropper post is the Bike Yoke Revive. Very expensive, over $400 for a dropper post, but that Revive valve is amazing. So highly recommend it. So, looking back at the coil shock, that's the big upgrade today. Really excited to have it on the bike. I've had it and had a chance to ride on it. Feeling the difference between the DB inline coil from Cane Creek that's a little bit less rowdy, a little bit less beefy. Key differences with the Kitsuma coil is that you get high speed and low speed compression and rebound adjustments. It didn't have all of those options on the DB inline. Of course, you get the climb switch. And then the other big difference was we went with a standard linear coil spring instead of the progressive vault spring that I had on the DB inline. So that's another important thing to mention. The Ripmo by design has a more progressive frame suspension design. And so Cane Creek's recommendation was that maybe you don't need a progressive coil spring as well, so going with the linear spring. And for quick clarity, progressive just means it takes it longer, there's more pressure resisting a full bottom out of the suspension travel. Coil and air shocks achieve this in different ways, but like in an air fork or shock, you would put in volume reducers to make it harder for you to get through the last few percentage points of the travel, versus a linear coil with no resistance would go straight through the travel with the same amount of force at the beginning and end of the travel stroke. So there's a quick good update on what the bike has. Really excited to have it on. That is the Kitsuma Coil. Really appreciate all of the effort. We spent a lot of time getting the preload adjustments dialed in with one of the bike mechanics there, so I feel really good about that. So as you can see on the trail, the bike is super poppy, super planted, everything that you would want out of a good coil. I would say that you get leaning more a little bit planted, but I didn't feel like I couldn't pop off of jumps and drops. I had plenty of control on rock slabs, plenty of control in slow speed tech as well. So really happy. There's a little bit of a weight penalty with the Kitsuma Coil, but not so much that it was not manageable. Feel really good about that. Still need to play with the compression and rebound dials. I feel pretty good about where we are with the rebound, but perhaps some additional high-speed compression damping would give us a little bit more control in those really steep, chunky sections, which is the only place I haven't taken the bike yet. Heading out to the George Washington National Forest soon, and I'll be making sure to give you updates along the way with that. So overall, my impressions are very, very positive with the Kitsuma Coil. The Ripmo, I've absolutely loved the V2. It's a fantastic bike, highly recommend it, but you didn't need me to tell you that. You know that's good, but finding the right components has been an ever-evolving process, and really, really happy with it. So the biggest negative with the Kitsuma might be the weight penalty, and perhaps requires a little bit of maintenance along the way, and if those adjustment dials get out of a good feel, it might take some time to get it back in place. Well, that's true of any high-end shock. So we're going to give the bike a quick shakedown with the coil shock on there, and what we're going to do is we're going to take it out to O-Hill, and we got the O-Hill long downhill. It's really our sort of litmus test for every bike that I try to ride and every single different component I like to test it on. I know that run like the back of my hand. It's rowdy and chunky and fast and fun. So let's take it over to the trail and see what kind of performance benefits that we get with the Kitsuma Coil on the Ripmo V2. Dropping. A little slick right here, I guess. Holy crap. Ooh, real supportive through there. A little slow there. See what we got. Get up there, that's good. Ride her up. Bottom out there. Come on, push. All right. Thank you, a couple behind. So as you can see there, didn't quite set a new PR. I've done that run a million times on a bunch of different bikes. It's gonna be hard to set PRs these days. That's not necessarily the goal of whether or not I like the shock so far. Happy to report that it feels great in every place that I've taken it. I'm gonna start playing with the dials a little bit more. I think I can get a little bit more responsiveness out of it, maybe some high-speed compression. I don't like a lot of rebound. I don't think there's too much, even at 200 pounds, that's gonna prevent it from getting back with the spring rate that we have on it. But overall, it's more confidence in expiring, and of course, we expect it to hold up the quality that Cane Creek makes. So a lot of good initial feedback with the Ripmo, as well as, of course, the Cane Creek Kitsuma Coil. So as we wrap up here, please make sure you comment below. I want to hear what other coils you're running on your Ripmo. I want to hear what other coils you're running or other shocks you're running on your bike and what works best for you. All of that information is super, super helpful for all of us. For me, as we're always looking for that next best thing so we can all get out there and find that flow.